Now, I'm going to give you what I call my standard introduction. You may already have your introduction to a presentation. I'm talking now more of whether it's a recruiting or a sales presentation. I begin every presentation by talking about the following things. The first, I talk about how I do business and we do business, and it would be our team, basically 100% by referral. And the reason we do that is because we believe in trust relationships. And I spend a minute talking about how critical trust is to everything that's important. I mean, everything that's going to happen between them and us, if anything does, is we got to build it on that sure foundation. And we expect to earn that, and it's not going to be given overnight, and we understand that. And I would also emphasize that's how we met. You know, let's say I'm with Bob, right? And Bob introduced me to them. And I talk about the relationship we're building with Bob and what he already has with you. And I'd talk a little bit about why we're so committed to the referral business and how much we believe in trust relationships. Why am I doing this? Because you can't spring the concept of referrals upon somebody at the end of a presentation. Or you give the first presentation, you go back for the close, and you spring it on them at the end. You can expect to get reluctance or pushback doing it that way. What I'm going to do is get them used to the thought all the way along the presentation, first and second, or in a recruiting interview or follow-up, that we work through trust relationships by referral, that 100% of our effort is in this area. And then I talk about a second thing, actually comes in A, B, and C, and we look for three attributes when we're working with people. And we look first for strength of character. And in that relationship, you're saying, what in the world are you talking about? A person you may be buying from you, or, joining your business about strength of character. I don't go on and on about it. But we want to do business with people, just like they want to do business with people, that they know have strength of character, that they are honorable people. And we talk about these things. These are not normal things that most people in the sales process are talking about. But understand, our effort is to build long-term relationships with our teammates and with our clients. This isn't sell them a car and hit the road or something quick across the counter at a grocery store. This is a long-term relationship. We expect to be working with these people, with their money, about protecting their families, maybe even for generations, but certainly for decades. So talking about these kind of things up front is very appropriate and will help your quality of business, will of course help your connection with people, and of course it's going to make it a much easier process to get referrals. They're going to want to refer people who talk to them about these kinds of things to their friends, and they'll feel comfortable. So we talk about strength of character, and we talk about integrity, and we talk about the importance of that in relationships. They've got to have it with us, and we've got to have it with them. And so I talk about how we look for that that's a priority for us. And that we also believe in quality relationships. And that's where I talk about long-term relationships. If we end up doing business together, all of these things, it really has a chance to be long-term. And we expect to keep earning your trust and keep performing. And so you talk about strength of character, you talk about quality relationships, and then we also talk about, especially when we're on the recruiting side, about life experience. We love people who have some mileage and have learned a lot about life and understand why you need to do the right things financially, or if they're joining the business, why opportunity is important, and how good it would be to have a second business or maybe a new one, and be an entrepreneur and all that success they can bring into their lives. And so we talk about with them, and I love talking about with people, strength of character, again, not taking a ton of time, about our effort to build quality relationships with them, and that their life experience is important to us. And that's part of why I got to know them. I also emphasize, and this is the way I've done business for 35 years, that we don't do business on the first presentation. We reassure them of that. Say, we respect you enough to give you the time to think about it. That we think that what we're doing is strong enough, is good enough for people, that you taking some time to think about it isn't going to hurt us. I guess if we didn't believe in what we did, we'd want to hurry you a little bit before you figured it out. But that's not the way we do business because what we do really is good for people. But you'll be the person who decides that. And I say things like, here in the presentation, remember I'm with Bob, and now I'm in the sales presentation. It really doesn't matter a lot what Bob thinks or what I think. We believe strongly in what we're doing, but at the end of the day, the only person's opinions who count here are you. And I'd be talking to the couple across the table. Or, again, if I was in a one-on-one recruiting interview, it's your opinion that matters because it's your life, and we respect that. I know I'm stating the obvious, but I want you to understand that I do understand the obvious. And so I want to reassure you, at no point are we going to chase you around the room or try to get your wallet out of your pocket or anything like that. We're going to overview what we do, how we do it, why we do it. If it intrigues you, it makes sense, we gather some information from you so we could do some homework to prove that we can help you as much as we say we can. And you'll have a feeling about that when we're done, whether these are the kind of things that you need help with. Now, what is the situation with those people that I'm sitting with, whether it's in my office or in their home? The edification has happened. We've made a personal connection. I've talked about how we believe in trust relationships. I look for the attributes we look for in people that we're going to do business with, about strength and character, relationships, long-term, and life experience. And that we don't do business in the first presentation, that we respect them, and we're going to give them time to think about what we're going to show them. How do you think they're feeling at that point? Is that the way most people have tried to do business with them? I don't think that's how most people do. And so now when we've established that kind of connection, they are a lot more willing to listen. And I've also mentioned a couple different times already that we do business by referral.